Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. It's Michelle here with another video on the Watts family murders. While we watch Chris Watts contemplate his fate on the evening of the 15th of August 2018, I'm going to give some opinions. This video is literally just an opinion piece about a few things that have happened very recently, namely yesterday my time. As I record this on Saturday morning UK time, so there was quite a lot of information put out by creators yesterday evening, yesterday night my time, so we're going to talk about that. If you don't like videos that are just opinion pieces, then maybe come back to the next video, but hopefully those that stick around will find this interesting. Hopefully it gives you something to think about. So first of all, let's talk about Dylan Tallman. So Dylan Tallman is a prisoner. He's out now, done his time, and he's out now. But he was in prison with Chris Watts. He knows Chris Watts. We know he knows Chris Watts. There's no ambiguity. There's no kind of, does he really know Chris Watts or is he lying? No, he actually does. He was in Dodge with Chris. I think they were in the adjoining cells. And he does have a contract with a TV company. I think it's Lifetime or Lifestyle or something. I don't have access to it in the UK. I think it's on UK Sky, but I don't have Sky. But anyway, he's under contract with one TV company because there's a series called, I think it's something like called Cellmate Secrets or Celly Secrets, something like that anyway. Somebody can fill me in on that in the comments. A couple of weeks ago now, I saw Dylan Tallman being interviewed by Lana, Truth and Transparency. And I didn't make a video about it. I didn't mention it in any videos. I thought, that's interesting. Let's see how this one develops. Because I got the impression, and again, this is just an opinion piece, just my opinion, my speculation, that maybe Lana has been priming Dylan to say certain things. She has her opinions about the Watts case, obviously. She got Chris new lawyers. Whether or not he's still got those lawyers is an open question. And Lana's been doing a lot to show that there are certain things that happened during the investigation that are wrong. And there are many things that are wrong. Not that I agree with Lana about certain issues, such as NA was in the house on the morning of the 13th and the 365 app, but there are lots of problems with the investigation and with the subsequent plea agreement. So Dylan was on her show and, they talked about a few things and I found it interesting. I'll leave a link to it in the description box. Like I said, I thought I'll just sit on that one and let's see how things develop. So things have developed a little. Let's talk about that. So last night my time, Dylan turned up on AD's show and I watched it with interest. He was very incoherent. I was struggling to kind of get the sense of what he was talking about some of the time. But do I believe what he said? Well, he was bigging up Chris. Chris is a great guy. He can't possibly have done these murders because he's such a great guy. Nonsense. Great guys can do horrible things, right? We see family annihilators, many cases of them where people thought, such a great guy, and I can't imagine this person committing a crime. So that kind of, character reference doesn't really wash with me, right? I like to see evidence as to why Chris can't have done those murders. And when AD directly asked him, did Chris do these murders? Did Chris actually do it? He didn't answer, which I think is very telling. So my opinion And you are very welcome to disagree with me in the comments. My opinion is Lana's been talking to Dylan, and he's using his experience with Chris, combined with Lana's coaching, and he's going to come out now in the mainstream and give a certain narrative. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Now, the other development worthy of some opinion, I mentioned it in a video a few days ago, and those of you that follow creators talking about the Watts case might be aware of this already, but for those that aren't, here's just the very quick brief backstory. Heather, whose channel is called Unmurdered, apparently has been talking to Chris on the phone, and he's been disclosing things that we don't know. Chris is starting to remember details that he'd previously forgotten, like repressed memories. And repressed memories are a thing, guys, right? Well established in psychology that we can repress memories after trauma. We know that Heather has written to Chris, has had communications with Chris. She's shown letters from Chris, but whether she's now talking to him on the phone on a regular basis and he's disclosing all of these things, you might think she's lying, and that's fine. I'm open. I'm open to the fact Chris might be now disclosing things. Heather is going to communicate those with Chris's consent, and helping her along with deciphering all of this information that's coming out, she's recruited Armchair Detective and Seeking the Truth with Dave. So in the next few weeks, I think they're going to be, pushing out this content that is Chris's own words or things that Chris has said. But last night, my time, Dave did a live. He played a very, very short clip. It's definitely Chris, and I don't believe it's doctored, apart from it's just a very short clip. And Dave said he can't reveal the source, and that's fair enough. I mean, I'd prefer to know the source, I have to say, so that I can make a judgment about how credible that source is. But I can understand why there might be certain reasons why the source doesn't want to be revealed and Dave wants to keep their identity secret. That's okay. I'd like to hear the whole conversation. Dave said that he can't put out the whole conversation because there's personal details and things like that. Well, you could redact details. You could go through the entire interview / phone call and just redact the personal information. It takes a bit of editing, but there's plenty of people in the community who've got editing skills. I've got editing skills. Lots of people, I'm sure, that could help with that. I'd like to know the whole conversation because that would then put this clip in context. So I'm going to put a link to that live in the description box so you can go and hear it for yourself. But what Chris said is, I remember Nichol Kessinger being there. All I know is that I felt like I was compelled by evil to do things that I'd never thought about or done before in my life. Let's play that a few times, shall we? See, the reason why I want to know the context of this is that he remembers NK being there when? Being there at the murder scene, being there after the clear up, being there beforehand. You know, Dylan said that NK had given Chris an ultimatum. It's either me or your family. And apparently on AD's show last night, Dylan said Chris chose the family. Chris chose his family. So if that's true, then the motive for the murders from NK's point of view is jealousy, is revenge, or it might be a complete fabrication. So, yeah, I'd like to know the context of this clip. Where is there? Not that I disbelieve it, I just would like to know more. It's good to question, isn't it? And maybe there will be more coming out. But I'm always cynical. I'm always a little bit mistrustful because there's agendas going on behind the scenes, not from Dave's point of view, but more from certain sources that have been talking to other sources to spin a narrative. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments. I've been Michelle. I do hope you're well. And I'll see you in the next video.
So what time do you work?
Usually, once I get to work, it's like 6:30 to 3:30, 4 o'clock.
You usually work nights or days?
Days.
What time do you leave the day?
What time I leave there?
No, here.
Usually between 5:30 and 6.
Alright. And was Shannon here then?
Yes. Yeah, she was still in bed.
And I'll get that back to you. And then at that time, if there's anything new, we can talk about it then.
You think he's going to take this all the way to trial?
I do, right now.
Have they gotten no discoveries yet?
No. They have some stuff.
Do you think that's going to change when they get those? Do they know that I'm like one of your witnesses?
Yeah, I mean, they have to know. Do they know what you said yet? No.